Shalom, brothers and sisters. Good morning to you all. Shabbat shalom to the Mitzvah God, to the family of Yah. Want to thank you all for taking the time out to join me on this beautiful Sabbath for a word from Yah. For the past, I would say maybe 2 weeks now, the word rock or stone has continuously been in my vision. Even if I'm just online, just doing something else, this word just continues to show up or resonate. Rock. And so I knew then that it was the rock leading me to some type of revelation, some type of message that he wanted me to deliver, and an understanding for myself. And so it kind of started when I was reading, as I stated before, the book of Psalms, and I came across the word rock. When you read Psalms 112 verse 7, it says that he shall not be afraid of evil news, for his heart is fixed, trusting in Yah. To be fixed means to be steady. He will not be afraid of evil news, for his heart is fixed, meaning his heart is steady, trusting in Yah. And so the word rock oftentimes also referred to as stone, depending on the version that you're reading. We see and find the word rock frequently being used while the children of Israel were in the wilderness. Okay, even David oftentimes referred to Yah as his rock in the book of Psalms. He oftentimes referred to him as his rock, his fortress, during the time that he was in the wilderness running from his enemies. Okay. David very often, through the book of Psalms, attributed his safety to Yah. He oftentimes declared Yah to be his rock, to be his fortress, to be his refuge, and to be his deliverer. And when we read Psalms chapter 18, David said that I love you, O Yah, my strength. He said, Yah is my rock, my fortress, and deliverer. David, he recognized the solid, immovable, and unshakable, never changing characteristic of Yah. And David placed his hope and his trust in Yah. We read this all throughout the book of Psalms. In fact, when we read Isaiah 44 and 8, Yah himself declared that there is no Yah, there's no other rock besides him. Something that was kind of placed in my Ruach this week was refuge. And I was just, going about my day. And when I was reading this, I was hearing a refuge is like a wall. Okay, when you have a refuge, this is what I'm hearing. A refuge is like a wall. And I heard a wall can separate you from the enemy. Okay, like a shield. A wall can uphold you. It can protect you. A wall can support you. It can assist and help. You've ever been tired? Maybe you were at a venue. Maybe you were somewhere standing up and there was a wall that was there, and you leaned against that wall. The moment that you leaned against that wall, you immediately felt support. Maybe you felt your back was hurting you and you lean against that wall and now you feel assisted. Okay. This is what was just resonating in my spirit all week about Yah being our refuge. And a refuge is like a wall that can not only separate you from the enemy like a shield to protect you, but a wall can also uphold you, assist you, aid, help, all of these things. Refuge in Hebrew is chet, shemek, and hay. Okay, so a chet is like a fence. It's a gate. It's a tent wall. The shemek is that which surrounds or assists you, and the Hebrew letter hay is behold, revelation, pay attention. We know that Yahusha is the door. He is a wall. Okay, he was the veil that he was the veil that was broken, and now because of his redemptive work on the tree, we now have um, revelation, and the ability to come to the Father, but through him. And so something else that Yah revealed to me about rock, and I'm gonna go into a couple of scriptures. But something that he revealed to me this morning is Yah and Yahusha, they're one and their family. Okay, this is something that I already knew, but as I connect this message today to last week's message, and even the one before that, on beautifying the house and building the kingdom and what true kingdom building is, I want you to think about faith. Okay. Um, the Hebrew word for faith is amunah, and faith is a reflection of Yah, because when we rely and we trust in Yah, we remain steady. Okay. Remember, when I first started, I read Psalms 112, verse 7. It says, "We shall not be afraid of evil news, for our heart will be fixed," meaning steady, trusting in Yah. Amunah, faith, is a reflection of Yah, because through our reliance and trust in Him, this is how we remain steady. Now, this steadiness, however, is not a result of us stabilizing ourselves. We're not stabilizing our own selves and by our own resources and by our own might and power, but it is us uh, steadying ourselves by taking hold of the support, okay, the rock, the stone that is already regarded as stable and reliable. Amunah, faith, is not only faith alone, but it also means to be steadfast. Faith without works is dead. So there has to be some type of action for faith to actually come into fruition. Okay. It's a direct expression of persistence and steadfastness in the rock, which Yahusha and Yah the Father, because they're one and they're a family. A perfect example of this can be found in Exodus chapter 17. When we read Exodus 17 with the staff, I want to talk about Moses. When you read Exodus 17, Moses was getting ready to battle Joshua. He told Joshua to go and fight against Amalek because they were attacking the children of Israel. He said, "Go and gather up some men, and while you do this, I'm going to go on the top of the hill and I'm going to take this staff." Yah commanded Moses to take the staff. In Exodus 17, Moses raised his hands all day long until the Israelites won that battle with Amalek. And when you read verse 12, it tells us that when Moses got tired, okay, because he was standing all day long raising his hands, because if he put his hands down, Amalek prevailed. But when he kept his hands remain in that position with his hands raised, the children of Israel prevailed. And so at that moment, verse 12 tells us that Moses got tired, okay, of holding his hands up. And at that moment, Aaron and Hur put a stone, a rock, they put a stone or a rock up under him. And he sat on that rock. And then Aaron on one side and Hur on the other side raised and held up the hands of Moses, and it says that Moses' hands was steady until the going down of the sun. It says that Moses' hands were steady until the going down of the sun. When you look at rock in this context, is Eben. And let me say, when I first looked up rock, and I did it in the ancient Hebrew lexicon of the Bible, and it says that rock is a stronghold. Okay, it's a place of strength, such as a mountain, a fort, a rock. It says it means to be strong, a fortress. It is a force that strengthens. Okay. Eben, 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 means rock or stone. Okay. And it is spelled Aleph, Bet, Nun. Aleph meaning the Father. It means Yah, the Father. It is a picture of a strong ox. Okay. It means mighty and authority. It is first. Okay. Bet means house, family, in or inside. And then Nun means the continuing seed or the continuing generation. Okay. What was so interesting about this, and what I learned throughout the past couple of days, is rock or stone literally means the Father and the Son. Okay. It's actually a picture of the Father and the Son that are united together in the house. And the reason why I say this is that Aleph Bet, when we read from the Hebrew, is from right to left. Aleph Bet, okay, because rock or stone, Eben, is Aleph Bet Nun. Aleph Bet joined together means Father, Abba. So you think about Aleph Bet, A and B. Okay, Aleph Bet means Father, Abba. Okay, and then Bet and Nun means son. Let me say this again. Aleph Bet means Father, Abba. And then Bet Nun means son. Now, I want you to notice that the Father and the Son both overlap, okay, at the Bet. Okay, Aleph Bet, which means Father, that's the first word, and Bet Nun means son. They overlap at the house. A stone or a rock is a picture of our Abba, Father Yah, and the Son Yahusha united together in the house. Okay. This was so beautiful for me to learn this. Maybe for some of you, this might not be a big deal. I did not know that that's what that stone or rock meant. Aleph Bet Nun meant the family or the house of the Father and the Son. Okay, that's what they mean together. When we read Matthew chapter 16, verse 18, Yahusha told the apostle Peter, he said, your name is Peter, okay, or you are Peter, which literally Peter's name actually means stone or rock. The Catholic Church has gotten this all wrong, and they're idolatizing Peter, and meaning that Yahushua was saying that the church or the congregation was going to be built upon Peter. That's not what it is saying. Yes, Peter's name does literally mean stone or rock. But he was a chief leader, chief apostle, teacher, the first one was doing all these things, but his name is Petros or Petra. It means stone or rock. But Yahushua tells Peter in Matthew 16 and 18, he says, your name is Peter, or you are Peter. He says, and upon this rock, I will build my assembly. Some may say my church, but he said, I will build my assembly. He says, and the gates of hell will not overpower it. So Yahusha, again, is not saying that Peter is going to be the rock, okay? But what he is saying is that we are the kingdom. The Father and the Son are the foundation that his congregation, his kingdom, his house, the family of the Father and the Son will be built upon. Those of us who are and will be a part of the kingdom. Remember, we learned last week that kingdom building begins with Proverbs 22:6, training up your child in the way that should go. And then when we train, and when we train with the lamed, the staff, which is a symbol of authority. Okay. And we know that the scepter of a king was held in his hand. Okay. And so when a child is trained, you train or instruct with the intention that it will be put to use. Okay. To train means to learn and to be trained for it. Also, when you're training for one to be a disciple and one to be a follower. So when we're training up a child in the way that they should go, we are training or instructing our children with the intention that they will put to use what has been learned. Okay. And so it begins with us as the parent building the kingdom of Yah, as we learned last week. Okay. So again, we are the kingdom, and the kingdom begins again with training up our children in the way that they should go. This is how we begin to truly beautify the house. This is what true kingdom building is. You beautify the house of Yah and beautify the house of Yah and Yahusha, okay, not with or through a building made by the hands of men with precious earthly stones and materials, okay. Let me give you an example. When the apostles, they admired the beauty of the stones and how wonderful their temples looked, Yahusha told them, not one stone will be left upon another. He told them, every one will be thrown down. He told them, don't look at these buildings, because everyone, he said, you see all these magnificent buildings? You see all these precious stones? He says, not one stone is going to be built upon another. He said, it is going to be he says, every one of them are going to be thrown down. He wanted to remind his disciples that his building, his church, his assembly, his house, it is still being built. His house is still being built right now through you, because we now know that we are the building. We are the sanctuary. Okay. But Yahusha's building, his church, his assembly, his congregation, is still being built. His building will be made of lively stones, built as a spiritual house. Okay. And he wants us glorified with him. He made this clear to Yah, the Father, that we might be glorified as he was glorified, and that we might be one with him and the Father. That's part of the inheritance of being a child of Yah, because you are a part of the house. You're a part of the family. And so those who are in the family have certain privileges that those who are not of the family, okay? So again, a rock is a stronghold. It is a place of strength. It's a place of help. It is a fortress. It is a strong, towering cliff. You think about a towering cliff, something that towers over you is able to shield you, is able to cover you, able to hide you. As David prayed to Yah, hide me in the shadow of your wings. Okay. And so I wanted to just compare for a moment when you read Exodus 17 versus Exodus 20. We have to make sure, and let me read this again. I want to read Psalms 112, verse 7 again. We shall not be afraid of evil news, okay? For his heart is fixed, meaning his heart is steady, trusting in Yah. We have to trust in Yah in these end days and not be afraid of the evil news. We have to be just like Moses, lifting up our hands unto Yah, putting our trust in him, keeping our hands raised, keeping our hands steady, continuing to trust in him. There was a war that was going all around Moses while he was holding up that staff. The staff Lamed is going to give you direction. Okay. He had that trust and that support. That faith was there because his brothers, Aaron and Hur, helped hold his hands up when he got tired. They were there to aid. They were there to assist and to help him continue to hold up his arm so that they would win that battle. But when you read Numbers 20 and 11, and let me go back. In Exodus 20 and 17, before that war, the children of Israel, they had just come out of Egypt. Yah had just delivered them. And there was a great host that was complaining and murmuring against Yah and Moses and, telling them, oh, you had brought us out here to die. We don't have any water. And so Yah told Moses to take the lamed, the staff, and he told him to strike the rock. When you read Exodus 17, verse 6, Moses is commanded by Yah to strike the rock. And then he said water will come out. And Moses did so, and the children of Israel were provided with water. We know that Yahusha is the rock, okay, as well as part of that family, the rock and the stone. And he is the living waters, okay? And so when Moses did as Yah commanded and striking the rock, water came out, okay? This was symbolic of what he would eventually do on the tree. He was struck, okay, when they took I think the soldier took the spear in his side and it said water and blood came out, okay? He is the living water. Now, let's go shift over to Numbers chapter 20. In Numbers chapter 20, Moses, at this time, they're complaining again. So Moses, this time, did not follow the commands of Yah. He disobeyed Yah, and he got tired of the people complaining. Okay. In this one, Yah told him to take the rod, as opposed to Exodus 17, he was told to take the lamed, the staff. In Numbers 20 and 8, he was told to take the rod and then speak to the rock in verse 8. Okay, Numbers 20 and 8, Yah commanded Moses this time to take the rod and to speak to the rock, and then the water will come out. But Moses did not speak to the rock. He struck the rock. He did not follow the instructions. Okay, he did not trust in Yah, and Yah made it clear to him, because he did not trust in him, he did not believe in him, and that he did not sanctify him before the people, he was not going to be able to go over into the promised land. Okay. So when you read Numbers 20 and 11, Moses struck the rocks 2 times. Okay, this is symbolic of Yahusha's already done the redemptive work. We're not going to strike him twice. He's not going to be struck twice. The rock in context, as it is being spoken in Numbers 20 and 11, means cliff, as a stronghold of Yah. Security, figuratively or literally, it means a fortress. Okay, Moses was told in Numbers 20 and 8 to strike the rock. Okay, and not to strike the rock, but to speak to the rock. But he was told to take the rod. The rod can be used as correction, chastisement. Okay, it also means liquid that is contained, a branch that can be used as a staff. Moses did not, and let me repeat myself again, he did not obey the Father Yah. His trust was not in him. To be steadfast means to remain. It means to endure. Okay? And he did not remain steady in him striking the rock, so he was punished because of this. In this present generation, the rock, or shall I say the rock of salvation, has become a stumbling block or a rock of offense because they have not accepted Yahusha. They have not accepted Yahusha for who he truly is. There are many in the Israelite awakening who have rejected Yahusha. They do not realize that Yah the Father, Abba, and Yahusha the Son are the family. They do not realize this. And so what has happened is they have made up a family that is inclusive of Yah alone, and it does not include the Son. Even though the rock, when it's being referred to, Eben, okay, is of the Father and the Son. Literally, that is what it means. The Father and the Son. The Father and the Son together in the house. So there is no foundation that you can build if you have not accepted the Messiah, or if you do not believe in the Messiah. You cannot remove the foundation from the house itself. The foundation, literally, stone or rock, means Aleph, Bet, Nun. Aleph, Bet combined means Abba, Father, and Bet, Nun combined means Son. They overlap at the house. It literally means the Father and the Son united in the house. The foundation, once again, is built upon Abba, Father, Yah, and the Son, Yahusha. Okay? We are his building, and we are being built together, fitted, joined together as lively stones for a house. We are the kingdom. And the only way that we can continue, not earthly precious stones that you see on many of these mega churches. That's not the house. Okay? We are now the house. We are now the building. We are now the lively stones that are being built up together to be fitted. And as his children, we have to learn that we ourselves have no power. We have to learn that we are upheld by his strength, his might, his power. He and he alone is our rock. He alone is our refuge. Okay? One thing before I end this is Yah does not want us to be anxious. He does not want us to have our hearts afraid, as it says in Psalms 112, verse 7, to not be afraid of the evil news when they come on the news, with evil news, with false reports. And I'll say it, and I'll keep it as that so that my video does not get flagged. But false reports um, about us who have refused to, take the poison. Um, false. He does not want our hearts to be troubled because of their plans and because of the things that we know that we have to endure. We have to, as his children, know that he is our support. He is our rock. He is our refuge. He is our very present help in the time of trouble. We can lean on him. We can pour our hearts out to him. We know that when we are weak, we can lean on the rock, the stone, and be supported. We know that there's nothing that he would not do for us. We have to remain steadfast and not wavering. And that's the message that I'm getting in my Ruach as I'm speaking, that without faith, we can do nothing. Faith is not just belief without action. You have to actually do something for your faith to be ignited. I can say I have faith that I can ride this bike, but if I don't ever take the training wheels off of the bike and know that I can do this on my own, I will never learn how to ride a bike. There is no faith without testing. Okay, let me say this again. There is no faith without testing. Okay, when the children of Israel came out of Egypt, the first thing they were done. The first thing the Father did was take them into the wilderness to be tested. Yahusha, on his journey, he was taken in the wilderness to be tested. I remember when I first came in this walk, the first test he gave me was the Sabbath. For many of you, that may have been the first test. Did you pass that test? Many things will be presented to you. Many things the enemy was going to put in your path and in your face to cause fear. And he'll tell you, well, if you don't do this, then this is going to happen. Well, you know what they said about this on the news. Well, you know you have to take this because if you don't, you're going to lose your job. It's like they have so many things that are coming out that we have flooded our ear gates and our eye gates. And I'm not saying don't watch the news and don't listen to it, because you have to be aware of what's going on and be vigilant. But do not allow what is going on around you. Remember, there was war going on around Moses, but it says that his hands remained steady. His hands remained steady. He sat upon the rock. He had support. He was strengthened so that he can continue to endure. We have to turn off what's going on around us and concentrate on the rock. Concentrate on he who is our refuge. He who is our support. Because it is only in and through him that we have our being. He gives food to the needy, and his righteousness is a standing righteousness. We cannot be concerned with what is going on around us. Yes, be aware, but know that that's not where your hope and your trust should be. Let your hearts not fail and be anxious for nothing. This was the message that Yah wanted to give us. He tells us that the ones fearing Yah trust in Yah, and he is their help and their shield. This is Psalms 114 verses 11. The ones fearing Yah trust in Yah. He is their help and their shield. And it tells us that Yah remembers us, and he will bless the house of Israel, and he will bless the house of Aaron. He will bless those who fear him, small and great. Yah will add on to you and onto your sons. You are blessed to Yah, he who makes heaven and earth. Yah, he has given us everything that we've needed. He has shown us time and time again he is worthy of our trust. And so I want you today to remember this word, Eben, Aleph, Bet, Nun. Aleph, Bet, Abba, Father. Bet, Nun, the Son, Yahusha. They are the foundation, okay, of the house. We are the children. Remain in the house so that you may forever be safe, that you may remain, endure, and be steadfast. Keep your eyes on the mark, the rock, the house of Yah. Shalom.